I have an iPhone, an iPad, and a laptop. Lainey has those three things too. I have a few, 4 or 5 more wireless devices. So my wire, I have an Airport Extreme, but that was the last one they made apparently now. They aren't going to upgrade it. They aren't going to do that anymore. They're offering a Linksys solution, which looks okay, but none of the reviews were solid. Whereas the thing in this thumbnail that you just saw was the Google wireless. I also have a friend who got it like over a year ago, and he was telling me how good it was and how easy it was. So this has a lot of the options that I want, and it's faster, and it looks like it'll be around for a little while, so I don't have to worry about software updates or things like that. So this is Google Wi-Fi. I've been thinking about upgrading my wireless since it is almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years old. Actually, it already is. I bought the Airport Extreme 4 years ago. I really haven't had many issues with it. I do notice that when multiple devices are on, even just going to a simple page slows down. Not by a lot. Maybe it'll slow down. It'll take 5 seconds to respond instead of 1. You know, it's not terrible. But the prospect of interesting newer technology for wireless is always good. It has a lot of the features that I want. I bought the 3, even though the 3 is overkill for my space. I want it to be, and you can actually add a 4th too with this model. It's nice to have that coverage. So these guys are a lot smaller, and they have metal in them, but they're plastic, which is fine because they aren't doing anything other than serving out internet. They all have the same interface on the bottom, which is that's where you plug in your cable modem, and that's where you would plug in a switch. In this case, I have a 5-port gig switch that I'm going to attach them all to and make it so I can still use my wired connections, because I do have multiple. Sometimes I'll use I did use the Apple TV at first with wireless, but I found that wired was nicer, especially if you don't have to download anything, you just stream. Same thing with Netflix. This is the power for it. It's a USB-C. If I can get it to focus. USB-C. Just a regular power plug. Just plugs in there. I think that's a nice way of doing it. I like. People still don't like USB-C. For certain things, I can understand that as far as just finding interfaces or dongles or things of that nature. But with my GoPros and just overall speed, having USB-C is really nice. Oh, and it comes with a nice flat Ethernet cable. It's flat. It feels more like a telephone, a landline cable. For those of you who are too young to know, you used to have to pick up like a phone with a cord on it. Yeah, that's how old I am. I remember those. So this is my Ethernet cable. So this was going to go from my cable modem into this. The green is internet. That's nice. Like I said, you can scale this up to 1 more from what I've been seeing. I don't know if you could do more than that, but one would probably cover my place. But having 3 means I can spread it out and have a good mesh over this place and be able to, and not have to think about speed or anything of that nature. So now what I'm going to do here is plug it in and get going. One thing I need to mention, Google. to run this, you need to use the Google app. There's a Google Wi-Fi app that'll allow you to look and see all the options that they have. So I'm just downloaded it, and it connects with your Google account, of course, because hey, everything is Google, right? So once you have it plugged in, you just choose your Google Wi-Fi option, find the right spot, plug it in, and then it automatically starts searching for your device. A thing that happens a lot when you're moving wireless networks, you drop connectivity basically, which means just restarting, and then the IP gets pulled from the ISP and it dumps back up to your wireless, which isn't, it's just rebooting. That's all I'm doing. So the first thing I had to do was unplug the modem, unplug my cable modem, unplug the Wi-Fi point. It tells you to wait for 2 minutes. Then it tells you to plug in your cable modem, and it gives me 1 minute to let it boot. So that's what I'm doing, I'm waiting. I gave my modem 1 minute, but it booted completely in about 45 seconds. That's nice. You'd think it would take longer. Now that I've rebooted, my Wi-Fi point is ready to configure. So the app connects to your Wi-Fi, and you have to tell it where your Wi-Fi is. So it's creating my Wi-Fi network, and it's setting up right now. Makes this little graphic. Ooh. Since I have 3 of these total, it asks how many Wi-Fi points. It already knew because it's I guess it's written into that thing that how many I have. So now it's asking me to place my other Wi-Fi points. This is going to take a minute. I have placed my other 2 Wi-Fi points, and I plug them in. It's activating the mesh network. That was a big selling point of this, is having a mesh network. It covers a lot more area. I don't have to worry about it. I didn't really have any dead zones, but this will mean my wireless will be a lot faster. So it added a Wi-Fi point, and everything's finalizing. It does all the heavy lifting for you basically. All you have to do is figure out where you want your wireless points, and the hardest thing I had to do is restart my modem, which is you unplug it, it counts down for you. You don't even have to count. It counts for you, and you plug it back in. It's I hate to say it's foolproof, but it's a lot harder to mess up. That was the first one. That was the second one that I set up. Now it's looking for the 3rd device. It found it, thankfully. And once this is all set up, that's it. Since I do have a different wireless name, and which my wireless name is, I am going to have to reconnect some of my devices, which isn't that big of a deal, and I have to reconnect my switch. Other than that, I'm good to go. Everything looks good. Your wireless is ready to go. Now what it's doing, it's updating all of the firmware and whatever software it has on it on the devices. This will take a few minutes, but I mean, this was super painless. It was harder to set up the Airport Express. Not that it was hard, but relatively speaking, these were super easy to do. It does a lot of the work for you. It keeps updated on its own. It uses an existing account to log in. It's really foolproof. I mean, there's probably a way you could screw it up, but for the most part, it's foolproof. So that was Google Wi-Fi. This is what I'm going to be using at home. This is what I'm going to be using all the time, from watching YouTube videos to making YouTube videos. Now Google owns all of my data. Google already owned all of my data. Now they own even more of my data. So that was Google Wi-Fi. I will be using it a lot, and if anything goes wrong, I'll probably make a video about it, because that's good clickbait, right? So Google Wi-Fi, thanks for watching.